Hi, this is Calvin the Groovy Guppy, and today we're here to do a little product review to solve a problem for one of my subscribers. And well, she's actually here with us today, and she has guppies, and well, she had baby guppies, and she had a question for me yesterday. And here's the answer to the question. And here's the question.
Where are my baby guppies?
Well, she had baby guppies yesterday, and her little dog is mad because, well, the baby guppies are gone. So where did the guppies go? Well, in the guppy world, and many other fish world, mommy looks at that little baby fry and says, "Yum, yum, yum." Yep, they eat them. So if you want your guppies to survive, all of them or a lot of them, uh, you need to separate mommy from the children. And if you go do some online research, you'll find out that there's a lot of people take the mommy out and put her in a separate tank and birth the guppies there and that kind of thing, and then pop mommy back. That's a little strenuous on the fish, but it's one way to do it. Another way you can do it is you catch the baby guppies and put them in a separate tank. Well, now you need two fish tanks, one to grow other things. And a lot of people don't want to have two fish tanks. And what I have here is a fairly economical solution that allows you to do that. And so what I've got set up here is the product I'm going to show you. It's the Marina Holding Breeding box, and there are three sizes. This is the larger, what they call the two. It's a half a gallon, 2 liter container. And I've got here some of my guppies. These are red tuxedo kois. And there's no babies in here. Well, they're all babies. These are all ones I've raised. But they were in here, and by the way, no guppies were harmed in the making of this video. We do have some guppies in here. But I got some in here, so there are guinea pigs, and I set up this little 5 gallon tank for them to swim around in for the few minutes of the video. And no, I don't recommend putting your guppies in a 5 gallon tank. A guppy should be no less than about a 10. Uh, these guys actually came out of a 40 gallon tank or so, and they're going to be real happy because, well, they're getting their own tank here pretty soon, or some of them. These are actually all females in here, and I'm going to be setting some of these two bigger females, or a couple of these females, up into their own tanks with some boyfriends and that kind of thing here soon. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, to answer Teresa's question, and her guppies went away because mommy ate them. And how do we fix that? We have to put them in a tank, which is right here. This is what the Marina tank looks like. But when you get it, it also comes with lots and lots and lots of parts. Now, as a review, I'm going to say up front, this is a wonderful little toy. They have screen cages for this. They have boxes that fit right inside your tank from some companies. They got screen nets that you can set in the tank. Those have advantages in very large tanks and small tanks. You got a 10 gallon tank, they take up a lot of room in the tank. The advantage of a tank like this, which is called a hang on over the edge, and I'll show you how not to make it tilt like that. It hangs on the outside like that. With the attachments, it won't lean. And runs the water out of here into here and back over into here with a little air pressure. One of the advantages of that, they're in the same water they were in originally. The temperature stays pretty consistent with what's in the tank, and you're not taking up some of the precious room that your mommies and daddies want in a smaller tank. And a bigger tank, they're still not taking up any room, just hang on the side. So, the parts of this thing, let's get to the parts. This is the box, what they call the box. That's the main part here. They call this the top. That's pretty original. It's the top. There we go. Then there's these two little clips right here that come in there. These hold the top on. Let me get in front of the camera, which is way over there. And I'm way over here. I got short arms for that. Okay. Right there, those clips right there. Those are the cover clasps, as they're listed. They call this a cover in the thing, not a top. From Missouri, we call it a top. And then we have these little silt plates, and there's two kinds of them. Okay. Yeah, if I can pick them up here with my fat fingers. There we go. And you'll see there's two different kind of silt plates. One has 3 bars, and one has 4 bars. See that? Okay. One's called a thick frame, one's called a thin frame. And to be honest with you, I do not use them at all. Okay, I will show you a system around that in a little while that I like better, that is better for your fish than those little bars. Okay, those don't hurt your fish, but there's another bar. Showed you the box already. Okay, then there's an attachment for frameless tanks. That's what this little bad boy is right here. Okay, so a little thing like that, and where that actually goes on the tank, and this tank we have here. The reason I have this tank here, one side of this tank is frameless, and the other side is not. And so I'm going to show you both ways. But this right here pops up in this, well, pops up in here. If I can get it turned around here. You know, as soon as you do a video, everything goes wrong. There we go. And you push them up in there. And what that does is it makes a narrow slot. See right there? And so the frameless tank sits up in there and stops the wobble at the top. And I'm going to move these boxes out of the way here. Yes, I bought a few of these this time. I don't send them to me for free. And I'll have a link in the description where to get them from. And see, that makes that so it can hang like that. And I still there's a little bit of a tilt there. So they have these what's called levelers right here. They look like this. Okay. And these levelers go just like this, and you might have to adjust them for your tank and your setup, but they just slide in the bottom like that, and that sits there like that. There you go. See it? Now, you'll notice the tilt now is toward the tank slightly. That's where you want it to, because right here there's got a little trough. That water flows back out and comes back into here. Okay? That's what you want. Guppies need a little water flow. Okay. Now, also in the kit comes an intake tube. Looks like that. Has a little thing on it right there. And sometimes you buy these boxes. This little O-ring is flopping around in the bag, and other times it's on there. This time I was looking for it. It was attached to the intake tube, so that actually would go right there when I get the rest of it done. And this, and for some, is an in-tube tank extension, which goes on the end, like so. Okay, and that slides right in the groove there and pops in like that. That's how that goes. Now I'm getting my fingers wet, and my guppies are getting excited. They think I'm about to feed them. They are thinking wrong. They've already been fed today. They're happy guppies. They are moving today. But anyway. So, now this is what they call the strainer. It looks like this. It's got a little tube on it. Air tube line. That goes right there. And this kit comes with a little airline tube and a air valve. Okay, and I'm going to pop that on, that strainer. There's a connection on it. But first you got to run it down through here. There's a little hole here that kind of holds that tube in place. Like so. I don't know if you can see that like that, but it's right there next to there. There's a little spot there. Then you run it right down, but down along the intake tube and hook it up to the strainer. On the strainer, see right there. Turn that around so you can see it right there. That's where the airline goes. It's pretty simple stuff. And that hooks up down there. Okay. And this then goes up here. Can you see that? Snaps right. And this discharge tube, you want this on there. It's got a little hole on it that goes down toward the water. So it directs the water the right way you're going. And that is as quick as a sit-up as you can get there. That one sits on the side of the tank like that. And you could set one up on this side. I was going to do it. I don't think I'm going to. Now, I told you about these little things. These little valves right here. There's two different sizes. There's one for larger fry and one for smaller fry. Well, I wasn't the inventor of this, but I saw this in somebody else's video, and I can't for the life of me remember whose it was. But filtration is important in fish. And because we have moving water right here, we do have an area where we can add some filtration to keep like the waste out of the water. So what I've done here is I took a piece of biofilter, and I will put a link to the biofilter in the description below so you can find some. It's pretty cheap. And this here, by putting it where that little screen goes, if you want, you can still put the screen there. But I put this right here. Can you see that right there? Let me get this out of here. Get it down here. It's in the water down there. See, that goes just like that in there. And that adds a little bit of filtration for any, like if you put a little food in here and it just filters it and stops it. So you filter it out of your water before any waste out of there. Every little bit of filtration helps, especially if you've got guppies where they overpopulate the tank in a hurry. More filtration allows you to not put them under severe stress levels. Okay, now, also if you wanted to on this, if you wanted to be a little bit more gung-ho on the bottom of the strainer, you could actually cut a piece of that, slide it up over top of here, cut a slot in there if you wanted to. I don't go that far. Okay, there you go. Now, that sits up there like that. Okay, and the other ingredient you need for this is a water pump, which looks like, or an air pump, not a water pump. What am I thinking? The air pump actually becomes your water pump. But you hook this bad boy up to this air valve right here. And it's a snug fit, by the way, on this particular tubing. But I will get her. And as you can see, it's already pumping water out of the tank without putting any water in there. You'll see that little side tank fill up. It's simply pumping air into the tank down this tube, and the air pressure pushes water up. It dribbles up into there, and it's got a good little flow. And I give this a very groovy little toy. They are not the cheapest way of storing your fish. I think they're 20 bucks on Amazon. Of course, prices change, so that may change by the time you see this video. But with the versatility of it and ease of setting it up, it just sits on your side of your tank. I like it better, much better than the screen. I have several of those screen ones that hang inside the tank when they have a little mesh. They're very flimsy. They're easy to break. Really hard to keep together sometimes once they come apart. And, yeah, they are nice for not having to have an extra air pump or something, but this here is probably the best system I've seen for keeping baby fish. And of course, you put your baby fish in here. You can run this over here like this. There you go. It's got a little air hole. That's a feeding hole for these guys. And you put your clips on there, and you are good to go. Right there. Those clips go, well, anyway. My big fumbly fingers take 3 tries at it, of course. There we go. That thing is ready to hold fish, and I'm going to let it run here, and so you can watch what happens with the water here in just a second. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And my guppies are saying, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, the water's going away, help, help, help. They still got 4.5 gallons, don't worry about it. They're used to a big tank though. But simple air pressure off of a simple little cheapy air pump will keep that running. But you do have to remember to feed these guys, because the food, these guys, the big fish shall eat the food. You want to feed them through this hole when you feed your fish. Feeding baby guppies, you can give them small bites. You can take, I use Wardley's fish food, and it breaks up real easy. I'll show you some. I'll put a link to that too. I use the Wardley's, and Tetra's good too. Tetra. Right here is some Tetra. This works too, but I use Wardley's. It comes in a blue can. And I don't have any close by where I can grab it, but anyway. And that actually breaks up real fine, real small for them. And that works just fine for feeding guppies. I also feed them things like Daphnia, which you don't have to. I just, I treat my fish, and I do brine shrimp, things like that. And they will eat all that stuff. And I'm waiting for this to fill up, and it's almost there.